Hello, this is Aaron Mean of SG Gaming Info, and welcome to my latest Let's Talk video. In today's video, I'll be going through 5 reasons why I enjoy the Neptunia franchise. Now, for those who don't know, Neptunia franchise is published by Idea Factory International in both North America and Europe, and in its native Japan it is published by Idea Factory. Now, while my love for each Neptunia game I play varies from adoring in the case of Mega Dimension Neptunia V2 to the accepting it as a concept with Hyper Dimension Neptunia U Action Unleashed, there are 5 reasons why I keep returning to the franchise, no matter how lackluster some of the games are. Now, without delay, let's explore the 5 reasons in no particular order. Actually, there is a further delay, and that is to say, there is a potential for mild spoilers. Number 1. Fun and interesting characters. As I'm sure most people are aware, the characters in the Neptunia games are based off various video game developers, publishers, platforms, etc. And well, this simple fact makes for some interesting and fun characters, as each character plays off their real life counterpart. A good example of this is with Noir, a CPU goddess and a representation of the PlayStation 3/PlayStation 4. Throughout the majority of the games, Noir makes a habit of bringing up her nation's network, praising it and saying how it is much better than the rest, as it is so cheap and reliable. Noir also takes time out to say the following about her nation's system: La Station only does everything. When the main characters aren't praising and comparing consoles, there are of course villains to fight, and since the Neptunia franchise is built around the idea that it is basically a video game about the video game industry, the villains are basically what the industry perceives to be evil. This means the villains you fight are based around the likes of piracy, with one reoccurring villain being named R4, after the R4 flashcard that allows you to play pirated games on the DS. Number 2. Humour. Just like the characters, the humour is very much based around the video game industry, with the franchise liking to reference past mistakes or serious events in a humorous way. For example, Hyperdimension Neptunia Victory for PlayStation 3 and its remake Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 3 for PlayStation Vita and PC references the 2011 PlayStation Network security breach, as La Station's network is compromised by an unknown hacker who turns out to be a drag queen robot called Anonadette, a possible reference to the hacking group Anonymous. While a good portion of the humour is based around the video game industry, the franchise takes a lot of pride in breaking the fourth wall, with numerous moments where the likes of Neptune will break character and talk about how she is the protagonist and nothing bad can happen to her. The ending of each game also breaks the fourth wall, with each character taking turns to thank you for playing the game. Number 3. A willingness to try new things. Now, this might seem like an odd point at first, but Idea Factory does attempt to try new things with the franchise. While you don't see major changes in the main series of the games, the spin-off games do show the company's willingness to try new things. In the 3 Neptunia spin-offs that are currently available to Western audiences, each game has a different battle system. The first spin-off title, Hyperdimension Neptunia Producing Perfection, doesn't have a battle system, as it is an idle management game where you the player attempt to turn the CPUs into idols. The second spin-off, Hyper Devotion Noir Goddess Blackheart, not only has a new lead character, but also changes the battle system from its strategic setup to a more tactics-based system. The final spin-off, Hyper Dimension Neptunia U Action Unleashed, is a completely different beast from the main series, as the game is a hack-and-slash brawler title. The 3 battle systems and the themes of the different spin-offs are interesting, as it makes one wonder what could Idea Factory do next. Personally, I wouldn't mind a Neptunia cooking game spin-off. 4. A lighthearted take on serious situations. In the majority of Neptunia games, the world is in serious danger, be it via piracy or someone wanting to destroy the world. But in these serious encounters, the developers just can't help but make them seem a little bit less serious than they otherwise should be. A major example of this is with Zero Dimension Neptunia Z Twilight of the Desperate CPU story in Mega Dimension Neptunia V2. In this story, Zero Dimension is all but destroyed. Humanity has been wiped out and the world is literally falling apart. But in this hellish, desolate world, Neptune and Nepgear make the best of it, as Neptune's unending supply of optimism somehow makes what should be a slog through a bleak, destroyed world into a Sunday stroll. Neptune's constant look on the bright side of life approach to issues manages to make those who still live in the zero dimension seemingly forget that their world is falling apart. I mean, when I played through the game, there were times when Neptune managed to make me forget how bleak the zero dimension story was. Now, moving on to the final point, number 5. It doesn't take itself too seriously. As you might have gathered from the previous 4 points, the Neptunia franchise doesn't take itself too seriously. When you strip down the franchise to its most basic point, you can easily see that it is essentially a lighthearted representation of the video game industry. As I pointed out earlier, the characters really hammer the video game industry influence home. While the games are influenced by various aspects of the industry, it also likes to have some fun with them. A good example is the character Keisha, a new character that was introduced in Mega Dimension Neptunia V2, and the personification of Konami. How do we know Keisha is the personification of Konami? Well, in the chapter that introduced her, she revealed she enjoys hiding and moving around inside a cardboard box, which of course is a nod to the Konami published Metal Gear Solid franchise. When it comes to the villains, the lack of seriousness in their design is clear to see, with the franchise having villains that include a drag queen robot, a middle-aged businessman, and a talking mouse. Now, I know the Neptunia franchise doesn't always produce the best overall games, but I find they have a nice, relaxing and colourful charm to them. Thank you for watching. Please like, favourite and subscribe. For more gaming information, please visit sggaminginfo.com, and don't forget to like our Facebook page at facebook.com/sggaminginfo, and follow us on Twitter at sggaminginfo.